Warning! The root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the root is on fire. Welcome to the show, Warzone Live, official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. I'm Wayne Allyn Root. This is the mainstream media. No mainstream media here. I'm your Secretary of War, and I am the biggest, loudest MAGA mouth in the world. And great to be with you, and great to be behind President Trump at all times. Don't always agree with everything he does, but overall, best president of my lifetime, one of the best presidents in America's history. The Iran war deal, we'll talk about that more later in the show. Let me read you my opening commentary, because every time you try to attack Trump, every time you're disappointed in Trump, every time you question Trump, I think you need to think back, hark back to the days of Barack Obama. And that includes Biden, who was obviously brain dead, and Obama was the real president. So the 3 terms and 12 years of Obama. So my latest column is titled Correction. Obama's not a dumb son of a bitch. I think you're allowed to say that on the air, correct, Daniel? Bitch is a word you can use. He is an evil son of a bitch and a communist traitor and a Manchurian candidate. President Trump was at the G7 this week talking about his Iran deal. He compared it to Obama's Iran deal, and Trump said the Iranians laughed at Obama and called him a dumb son of a bitch. Correction, President Trump. I don't know if that's what the Iranians actually called Obama, but it's not accurate. Never lose sight of what Obama is. Obama isn't dumb. Far from it. Obama is a smart and cunning Marxist revolutionary. Obama is a talented bullsh artist. I didn't say the word. I started the word. Bullsh, you know what, artist. And con man who conned half of America. He is a communist traitor to America. He's a radical Muslim terrorist sympathizer, just like Zohran Mamdani. He is the worst race divider and race baiter in modern American history. But most of all, Obama is one evil son of a bitch. 3 stories were in the news headlines in the past 24 hours that prove who and what Obama really is. First, the Iran deal. Obama and many of his Marxist cronies attacked Trump over the terms of the deal, which is ironic, because Obama never dropped a bomb on Iran, never destroyed much of their nuclear capabilities and military infrastructure, never killed off their political and military leaders, let alone 2 and 3 levels deep. But Obama did hand Iran $100 billion of U.S. taxpayer money and got nothing in return. Your money. Trump, on the other hand, bombed the you-know-what out of Iran, destroyed much of their nuclear capabilities and military infrastructure, killed off all of their political and military leaders 2 or 3 layers down, and then gave them $300 billion of other people's money from Iran's Arab Gulf neighbors, not from U.S. taxpayers. I'll take Trump's deal every time. Typical Obama BS. He screws it up, promotes pure fantasy about his terrible deal, and then viciously attacks a far superior deal by President Trump. It is far from perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better deal than Obama's ever was. Proving once again Obama's a con man and a you-know-what artist. The second story in the news in the past 24 hours was the terrorist plot to commit mass murder at the White House UFC event. It turns out the lead terrorist was an illegal alien granted DACA by Obama. In other words, Obama opened our borders, let this terrorist illegal alien from Mexico into our country, and then granted him the right to stay. proving once again when it comes to anything bad and evil that leads to danger, disaster, collapse, America's downfall, and potential death to American citizens, all roads lead to Obama. Finally, story number 3 is the Obama Presidential Center. It turns out this is opening weekend for the biggest albatross in presidential library history. Just like Obamacare, it's a gigantic, expensive, bloated, debt-ridden disaster that bankrupts everyone and everything it touches. It was promoted and branded as a lasting legacy to former President Obama. Well, it is. It's a lasting legacy to all the failures of communism in world history. Communist ideas, always lead to misery, poverty, bankruptcy, debt, and pain. Obama's library is a miserable failure, hurting all the people it promised to enrich. Communists like Obama have no clue how to make money. They only know how to steal money from taxpayers, spend it like a drunken sailor, and wind up in massive debt. The Obama library has ended up just as successful as the Obama economy, and Obamacare, and green energy, and open borders, and DEI. In other words, it's a freaking bomb of epic proportions. The cost overruns have exploded the project cost from $800 million, and I'm sure it didn't start there either. I'm sure it started at like $500 million, but in the last year it was called an $800 million project. Now it's well over $1 billion. The Obama Foundation Reserve Fund was promised to contain $470 million to make sure taxpayers didn't get soaked by cost overruns. Guess what's in the reserve fund? $1 million. Where's the other $469 million? Well, if it's anything like Obama's presidency, the money is lining the pockets of Obama's Marxist cronies. Subcontractors have not been paid. Each of these small businesses was promised the world by Obama, but they're all now facing bankruptcy and financial ruin. Just like everyone was sold a bill of goods about Obamacare. Just like everyone was sold a bill of goods about global warming and climate change. Just like all the bankrupt green energy companies that lost billions in U.S. taxpayer money during Obama's term. Just like all the millions of small businesses that failed during Obama's presidency. Just like the all-time record number of Americans on welfare, food stamps, unemployment, and disability under Obama. Obama was the only president in America's 250-year history to never produce 1 year, just 1 year, of 3% economic growth. Even Hoover and FDR, during the depths of the Great Depression, beat Obama's economy. Obama wrecked the country, wrecked the economy, wrecked the border, wrecked healthcare, wrecked energy, and wrecked white-black race relations. He destroyed everything he touched. But Obama had the lapdog mainstream media to spew propaganda and gaslight the public 24/7. But wait, I haven't told you the most shocking part of Obama's legacy. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, the holiday celebrating Black Americans. Yet there are many Black subcontractors who are unpaid and facing financial ruin on that holiday thanks to the bankrupt, failed Obama library. Oh, and one more thing. The Obama library is butt ugly. It's a lasting stain on the Chicago skyline. All of that while the Marxist scumbags who run Chicago handed Obama the land under the library for $10 for a 99-year lease. I wish I could get a deal like that. Chicago's taxpayers got screwed worse than the Indians who sold Manhattan for a few beads and trinkets. It's in a perfect location, though. How fitting for Obama's library to be based in America's crime capital, overlooking a city, Chicago, overwhelmed with drugs, shootings, murders, record black-on-black crime, and failing public schools, producing black kids who can't read or do basic math. Perhaps we should change the spelling to the Obama Library, as in L-I-E, the Obama Library. What a legacy. As usual, when it comes to the decline of America, all roads lead to Obama. So understand, he's not a dumb son of a bitch, but Obama is one evil son of a bitch. All right, and I didn't even mention he's my college classmate. He was never seen at Columbia. He's a Manchurian candidate. I didn't even mention that. I like all my commentaries being under 1,000 words. This one was 989. Are you impressed, Batar? 989. All right, so let me grab an article here because it was from yesterday. I have my pile from yesterday's articles, and I never got to it. Subcontractors say they're owed millions and face financial ruin after helping build the Obama Presidential Center, a.k.a. the Obama Library. Adamson plumbing owner Mike Owen says his company is owed $4 million on the Chicago project. So you need to hear some of this. You really do. Addison Plumbing, whose owner Mike Owen says is owed nearly $4 million after years of work on the project. That is a hole that no subcontractor, no small business can survive, says Owen. Black subcontractors at the Obama Presidential Center still seeking payment as Juneteenth opening nears, advocates say. So let's hear from this guy, Owens. Subcontractor owners interviewed by Fox News Digital described what they characterized as a chaotic work environment marked by repeated design changes, rework, scheduling disruptions, extensive oversight, and years-long compensation disputes that still remain unresolved. Several also described what they viewed as a wall of silence surrounding the project, with some declining to speak publicly or requesting anonymity because of confidentiality agreements or fear of professional retaliation. The allegations emerged days after a Fox News Digital investigation reported that the Obama Foundation's reserve fund, originally promoted as a $470 million financial safeguard intended to help protect taxpayers if the project encountered financial trouble, remains funded at about $1 million. And it's nearly $4 million in the red. Standing outside the center on a gloomy afternoon, Owens, that's the black subcontractor, flipped through spreadsheets and financial records that he said documented $4 million. Oh, that's the $4 million they mean. $4 million in losses tied to the project. Owens said the project stretched on for years longer than anticipated, forcing his company to absorb millions of dollars in labor and overhead costs as work demands changed and expanded. He said the losses have drained the company's reserves, created uncertainty for employees, and could ultimately force layoffs. Owens also said the years-long effort to recover what he believes is money owed to him has taken a significant toll on his mental health. I haven't had 8 hours or 6 hours sleep in over a year. I'm cooked emotionally. I feel like an aluminum can that's been thrown in front of a steamroller. We're crushed, and I have to fight for my company and my people. It's really amazing, and the center's preparing for a star-studded opening celebration tonight featuring Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, and John Legend. Excuse me. Owens said it's been difficult to watch the build-up and soft opening events take shape over the past few weeks while his company struggles financially. It's really quite amazing. For me and my company, says, I'm at the end of my rope. I see no other choice than to have to tell my story. There's not to embarrass anyone. It's just to make sure the truth gets told out here of what has happened to the companies that poured their heart and soul into getting this job complete and operational. He says there was a lot of unnecessary rework, delays, and more than 100 change order requests that left his company absorbing millions of dollars in additional costs. And I'll tell you what, I find it ironic that the opening tonight features Stevie Wonder, because you'd have to be blind to not see that Obama's a crook, and Obama's a thug, and Obama's a Manchurian candidate, and Obama's a communist, and Obama is one evil son of a bitch. All right, here's that story I mentioned in my opening commentary too. White House terror plot ringleader is an illegal alien who was granted DACA by Obama, says the DHS. The alleged terror plot targeting the White House UFC fight on Sunday was orchestrated by a Mexican illegal alien who remained in the country under Obama's controversial DACA program, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. The alleged ringleader, Abraham Alvarez of Omaha, Nebraska, was revealed in court documents to be a non-citizen. The conspirators allegedly planned to deploy drones armed with explosives in and around the UFC Freedom event in order to force an evacuation of the event, and then planned to deploy snipers to fire upon high-value targets within the fleeing crowd. So they wanted to kill, major government officials, maybe kill Trump, maybe kill the vice president, J.D. Vance, maybe kill cabinet members, and kill thousands of attendees and make an example of a Trump event on the White House lawn. Senator Josh Hawley said today the reason Democrats don't want the Save America Act is they want non-citizens to vote so they can cheat. And of course, he's right. Absolutely right. He's a Missouri Republican. And he delivered it, they say, a no-holds-barred takedown of the left's opposition to the Save America Act. There's no doubt about it. They want non-citizens to vote so they can cheat at elections. They want people to be able to come in across the border illegally, get a state voter ID, and then use that in federal elections. And while I agree with him, it's just ironic because he's not saying there were never enough Republican votes to pass the SAVE Act. They were never going to pass it. They don't have even 51 Republican votes if you kill the filibuster to pass it without the filibuster. They don't have anything near 60 votes. They have about 48 votes. So you can't just criticize the left. You've got to criticize the rhinos in the Republican U.S. Senate as well. And then when you talk about Obama, I think about, cities run by Democrats just like Obama. Cities like New York and L.A. and Washington, D.C. and Detroit and Baltimore and Chicago. Welcome to Baltimore. Chaos, gunfire, and roaming youth mobs transform the Bar District into a war zone. And this is not in some horrible low-income minority neighborhood. The Bar District. Petard, you have the live reads here? The Bar District, one of Baltimore City's premier bar and restaurant districts, was transformed into a war zone over the weekend with roaming gangs of underage kids, large unruly crowds, fights, and even a shootout that seemed like a scene from the crime drama The Wire, which was all about Baltimore. Urban decay in Baltimore is rampant and is a symbol of failed left-wing leadership, which means more focused on progressive policies, DEI, illegal aliens, saving illegal aliens, by the way, and climate change, and actually providing basic law and order to taxpayers. Fells Point is the name of the Bar District. It was flooded with hundreds of young people, mostly underage teens, overwhelming parts of the nightlife district known for local shops, bars, and restaurants. Good luck to all the people that want to go out in Baltimore. What a joke. This is what you get in every Democrat city. This is what you get in the country. This is what you get in the states. If Obama or any Obama-like Democrat is in charge, you are effed. It's as simple as that. And when we get back, I've got guests, and I also want to get to what I think would have been the number one story if Trump had not said Obama is a dumb son of a bitch. And that inspired me to write that column. And if it wasn't also the opening weekend for Obama's Boondoggle, that's what I should have called it, Obama's Boondoggle. That'd be a good title. Obama's Boondoggle, the Obama Presidential Center, his library. All of that meant it was time to write about Obama. But the reality is the biggest story in America is the terrorist attacks that are going on now that nobody notices, right? We've got buildings burning to the ground in the Los Angeles area that are 1 million square feet that supply all the things that we need in hospitals and medical facilities and food. It's a disaster. You think that's a mistake? Multiple buildings on back-to-back days burning to the ground, 1 million square feet filled with the supply chain of the United States of America? And do you think the fact that we have ticks all over America now that are biting people and causing them to never be able to eat meat again the rest of their lives? I don't even know if that includes, I think it's meat and chicken. Does it include fish? Does it include eggs? What are you supposed to eat? Vegetarian the rest of your life because you throw up anything else you eat. It's out of a sci-fi movie. You think it's fiction. No, it's happening. And I've heard that something like 1/3 of all the people in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, have this disease now. And this is not a huge story in the news. This is going to be all over America. It's going to be a far worse pandemic than COVID. COVID was never that bad. It was a cold. It was the flu, except for some, poor souls that were very sick and very immune challenged or very old, right? Or dying of cancer. And then you got COVID and you died. Okay, but you didn't die of COVID. You really died of cancer. They said if you died from a motorcycle accident, they chalked it up to COVID. If you committed suicide, they chalked it up to COVID. If you died of depression, they chalked it up to COVID. Didn't matter what heart attack, they chalked it up to COVID. Didn't matter. So COVID was not really, in retrospect, as bad as they made it. The COVID vaccine is much worse than COVID. It's killed millions and injured hundreds of millions. But this is going to be a walk in the park if this is for real. If this is for real and it's spreading all over the United States, This is going to be a disaster of epic proportions and will wipe out the entire economy of America that's based on cattle, based on people eating meat and chicken. Forget it. It's all over. And if it's eggs, too, I got to find out. Does this include eggs? You can never eat eggs again? By the way, I eat a dozen eggs a day. My God, if they could change the diet of the whole America, they could put us out of business, destroy America's farms and farmers, and just destroy the economy and make everyone miserable. Because if I could never eat a steak, chicken, sushi, or eggs again, and I had to spend the rest of my life eating plants, I think I'd probably kill myself, and I think a lot of people would follow me down that path. So you'd never enjoy life again. This is far worse than COVID. If this is in fact spreading like wildfire and those ticks are going to be everywhere, it's a terrorist attack. All right, the sponsor of this segment of the show is Freedom Fest. It's coming up fast. It's the World's Fair of Liberty. It's July 8th to 11th at Caesars Forum Convention Center in Las Vegas. The most popular event at Freedom Fest every year. You could turn the music off because it's just hard for me to compete with the music. Is the mock trial. This year, ICE will be put on trial. I will be the ICE defense attorney. Wayne Allyn will be the defense attorney. My star witnesses for the defense will be actor Dean Cain of Superman fame and veteran Border Patrol official and agent J.G. Carroll. The 12 jurors will be selected from the audience. It will take place on Friday, July 10th at 5 p.m. I can't wait to meet all of you there. This will be a special year for Freedom Fest. So, celebrating the 250th anniversary of Independence Day, the MC is Kennedy from Fox News with many great speakers, including Steve Forbes, Glenn Beck, Adam Carolla, Senator Rand Paul, John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods, Rob Schneider, the actor and comedian. Get your tickets now for Freedom Fest. For my fans only, get $100 off the registration fee. Go to freedomfest.com, use the promo code WAR, and get $100 off. freedomfest.com, promo code WAR. When we get back, guests and a lot more news right here on Warzone Live. I'm Wayne Allyn. The root is on fire. rootforamerica.com, and you can email me anytime, wayneroot@gmail.com. One more thing to mention, coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, you can speak to me live. Just call 800-347-ROOT, and you speak to me live on my new TV show, 800-347-ROOT. You can speak to me anytime at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're answering the phones, and I'm talking to all of you, and you can leave a voicemail, and I'll read the voicemail live on the air, or you can email me and leave your comments on email, wayneroot@gmail.com. We'll be right back. Hey, Wayne Allyn, America Speaks. You call in, and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn, CEO, conservative TV and radio host, and best-selling author. I believe in America and American exceptionalism. America is now focused on energy independence. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. It took 40 years to piece together this 40,000-acre giant gas discovery. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far are estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas, making it one of the largest natural gas discoveries in the Rocky Mountain region in the last 30 years. This is how we power the AI future of America with clean natural gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose previous public companies, Pinnacle Energy and Ultra Petroleum, delivered spectacular returns for investors. At its peak, a $10,000 investment in Ultra Petroleum turned into over $13 million. To learn more about this Lost Soldier oil and gas opportunity, go to lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at GreatPatriotStore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com. All right, Wayne Allyn, the root's on fire. Let me deaden this computer so it's not blasting me in the face. There we go. All right, so VRA is the sponsor of this segment of the show. They are the sponsor of all of my platforms, radio, TV, podcast, my 2 TV shows, you name it, VRA. This is an alert for middle-class Americans, literally an alert, because investing in stocks isn't just for rich people anymore. Kip Herridge left the highest levels of success on Wall Street to help mom and pop investors 23 years ago with his amazing investment newsletter, VRA. His goal was to help the little guy, average middle-class American investors, hit returns like the rich guys do with hedge funds, except even better. Since then, his top-performing recommendations have beaten the market just under 90% of the time, 19 out of 22 years. Meanwhile, Barron's reports the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Kip wins almost 90%. The big shots on Wall Street lose 90%. Who are you going to listen to? I suggest it should be Kip. But Kip's not just beating the market, but often beating the market by a mile. His daily newsletter portfolio up 35.7% last year, over 27% in 2024, and over 50% in 2023. How do you like those numbers? Can you beat those numbers? I'm a witness. Kip's been a close friend all these years, and I've read his email newsletter every morning for 23 years. Facts matter. The fact is the VRA portfolio beats the market in good years and bad. When the economy's up, Kip is up. When the economy's bad, Kip is up. Kip is the Nostradamus of Wall Street and my personal financial advisor, and now he wants to prove it to you for free. Exclusively for my fans, Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. So listen up, middle-class America. You have no risk. It's 100% free for 2 weeks. Then once you join, it's very inexpensive, and the results are one of a kind. Now, you could win like the wealthy investors on Wall Street for a fraction of the cost. And I would add, except better than those wealthy hedge fund investors. Better. Get your free 2-week membership at VRAinsider.com. VRAinsider.com. And who's with us today? And I didn't even realize that till 5 minutes ago because I'm just so under the gun with all these shows and so much going on. But my guest is Kip's son and partner, Tyler Herridge, partner at VRAinsider.com, economic expert, partner, and I think most importantly, proud son, proud of his daddy. Right, Tyler?
Oh, yes, sir. Exactly. Very grateful to be working with my dad and to have this opportunity for a family business. And as you mentioned in your intro, which thank you, you always have the kindest words, and congratulations on the new shows. That's a good kind of busy, I'm sure. But so grateful for the opportunity to be able to bring what we do on a daily basis, the research, the financial insights that we have to retail investors. Because for so long, Wall Street has beaten everybody, but there's never been a better time to take full control of your financial future than right now. That's what we've been saying since my dad and I published our book, The Big Bribe, in 2022. We're the most bullish analyst on the street, and I'm here in New York right now. We're still the most bullish. And as you mentioned, we have the returns to show for it as well. So every day we wake up so excited to bring this information to mom and pop investors out there, retail, who so been underserved.
Tyler, you're very lucky because my son is in the same business as you, finance, and he's a super bright kid, same as you, and he works for a billionaire family office, and it's a great job. He's making great money. He got in with a great group, but it's not his father, Wayne. See, I wish he was working for my family office. Instead, you're working for your family office. So very lucky and a very positive thing. I kudos to you. And congratulations to Kip, because he's got all, you and your brother, he's got all his family with him in one business. That's really cool. My son is thousands of miles away working for a stranger's billionaire family office. So congrats to you. Look, you're joining us from New York. It's important to know what brought you to New York.
Yes, so I was here earlier this week on the floor of the NYSE, partially for the SpaceX IPO, although that was on the NASDAQ, but here working on a few different projects for our clients. And there really couldn't be a better time to be in the city, maybe minus the mayor. It surprised me how much pushback that people have openly expressed here. But the Knicks winning, the parade's going on right outside the hotel right now, so I might have to go join that here in a minute.
You know, I'm a sports fan, so I don't mean to be what do they, I don't know if you could say it on the air, a DIC, you know what. I don't mean to be a jerk. But even though I'm a sports fan, I feel bad for people that their lives suck and they want to go to a parade for a basketball team. You know, even if I love my team, I don't need to go to a parade and take the day off from work. I'd rather make money today. But they don't seem to care about that. They all took the day off. It's like a city holiday. The whole world is excited in New York. You should be excited about the fact, guys, that your city's a piece of crap now with a mayor who's a communist Muslim. And instead, you're so happy because a basketball team shot a ball through a hoop. It shows the low IQ of Democrats. It's become a low IQ world. Very sad. But let's talk about this.
I've been in meetings here all day, and everybody's the same sentiment of can't believe that no one's out there working today. This is the day when real work gets done, though.
And by the way, no one's going to work tomorrow. It's Juneteenth. You know, it's just ridiculous. This country is so ridiculous. So many holidays that have nothing to do with me individually. You know, I'm Jewish by birth. There's all kinds of Jewish holidays, right? I don't make anybody else celebrate them, and nobody else does celebrate them. Why should I celebrate Juneteenth? It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not going to celebrate it. It's got nothing to do with me. Why would I take the day off? I'm working tomorrow. Anyway, let's talk about that SpaceX IPO. Because the question is that, look, I think it's a great company, and it's more important what you think than me. I think it'll be a great company and have a great future. But it's probably ridiculously overbought at the moment, don't you think? It was supposed to come out at like 120, and then they said it was going to come out at 150, and then it was at like 200 the other day. I don't even know where it closed today. Just tell us your thoughts on the SpaceX IPO. Is someone supposed to be selling it short now?
Well, we're going to wait probably a little bit here to get involved. But when you look at what a unique company it is, and the only company in the world that's doing what they do, from relanding rockets to the large rockets, you know, the permitting applications for over 1 million satellites going up. I mean, what kind of premium can you put on a company like that? They're rescuing astronauts from the space station. So what we think it really represents here is what's to come. We've got multiple huge IPOs from Anthropic to OpenAI coming. And I think people have yet to grasp how significant these companies are in the era that we're entering. So from our 2022 call after the Biden bear market, we said we're looking for a dot-com era melt up. From 1995 to 2000, the market rallied 580% with multiple huge IPOs along the way. These IPOs could not be more different from the dot-com era. You know, when you have about 10 companies serving pet food versus now companies that have real world impact and use cases. We think that this bull market is going to rewrite the rule book on bull markets. It's going to run through 2030, taking the Dow Jones above 100,000, NASDAQ above 50,000, and there'll be plenty of time for a company like SpaceX to thrive in this environment. Right now, the largest company in the world, NVIDIA, is on its way to a $10 trillion valuation. By 2030, there will be multiple $10 trillion companies, is our view. So,
and they're all in the AI category. Is that right? Is that the deal? All of them are going to be AI oriented?
A lot of the new IPOs are, but not all of them. There's some phenomenal companies coming out on the industrial material side, gold mining sectors, critical minerals. Those are some areas that we love here as well. We love gold, love the gold miners. But if there's one thing that I would like to get across to your viewers here today, is that you must be in this market here. There's so many opportunities out there. And especially when we live in an environment where the money printer is going to stay on, it's the only way to keep up with the debasement of our currency. That's not to say that inflation is coming back, but this isn't your grandfather's market where you can hide your cash under your mattress. It must be put to work. And I guess on top of that, it's easier said than done. But when you see the big moves, those aren't the time to panic and sell everything. It's time to stay in the market and be in the market, whatever that means for you as an individual. You have to put your money to work here.
Well, look, my thing is, I'm very careful. Benjamin Graham, I was trying to grasp the name, so many names in my head. Benjamin Graham was the great value investor on Wall Street, and he always said that you should, buy low and sell high. And that's what I worry about with a SpaceX. That's the only question I was asking you. Yes. So I'll stay tuned to see what Kip and you think over time. You may recommend it no matter what the price is, and I may wind up buying it. But I just worry that, there's a time to get into every stock and there's time to get out. And maybe SpaceX will go back down to 100, and then you should put your life savings in. It's going to go to 10,000. But 200 may be too high. So that's what I wonder. But again, I'm not the expert you guys are. So let's wait and let's see what you guys recommend.
I couldn't agree more. We'll be patient with this one. We're big fans of Tesla as well. We've been in that for a long time, and there's still so much opportunity there as well if you want something that's been around a little longer.
Well, because you and your dad recommended Tesla, I own a lot of Tesla. And so Tesla may merge with SpaceX without me ever having to buy SpaceX. I will get SpaceX. So that would be a better thing than rushing in on a stock that's gone so high. I'd rather just get it automatically in a merger. So we'll see what happens, because I love Tesla and I bought a lot of it for my retirement account. All right, Kevin Warsh, that's really the big news the average person knows nothing about. If you ask the million people at the Knicks parade today down the corridors of fame and heroes in Manhattan, 99.9999% have never even heard of Kevin Warsh. He's the new Fed chairman replacing Jerome Powell, I think is probably the worst Fed chairman in history, or one of the worst. And all of a sudden you got a new Trump guy in, but yet at the Fed meeting yesterday, the market went way down because they read into his comments that he's becoming a hawk and he might want to raise interest rates later this year. The exact opposite of what everybody thought was going to happen with the new Trump guy, because he put pressure that the new guy has to cut interest rates. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. Well, I completely agree. I think the media ran away with it a little bit as far as how hawkish he really was. He was in a tough spot. You had 5 years plus of Jay Powell, but 5 years of inflation above their target. It's not a very good look. So as a group, he couldn't really throw anybody under the bus for this first meeting. So overall, I think it was a good first meeting here. He couldn't, like I said, differ too far away. And we're not fans of the Federal Reserve here. We're Texans. We're very much in the Ron Paul camp of into the Fed. But when you have someone like Kevin Warsh and someone like Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, these people are exactly who you want to be really behind the plumbing and the infrastructure of the U.S. economy. I think we're in very good hands from that view. Now, I love some of the things he said yesterday, though, of ending forward projections, coming out only when you need to with news. We don't need the FOMC and these Fed speakers out here every single month, scaring the market, sending conflicting messages.
Right. That's good. That's good. I like that.
Yes, I love that. It's fantastic. That is a modern Fed thing as well. It hasn't always been that way. And Jay Powell, famously very political, loves to be in front of the camera, and there's no one with a worse track record of sending the market lower when he's in front of the worst of every Fed chairman in history. So we might expect a lower day from Warsh yesterday, but here we are. Not our major indexes back to all-time highs, but our favorite sector is the semiconductors, hit an all-time high today, and a big bounce back. Yields were lower as well. So our long-term call remains that yields are going to move lower. We think that it's much more likely they'll cut rates this year than hike rates, especially now with the conflict behind us, oil moving lower, and our view towards the year end, oil is going to move much lower as long as this is fully behind us.
My gut instinct's always been pretty good, and I said if he could end the war with Iran, we're going to see not just lower gas prices, anyone could figure that out, but we're going to see cuts in interest rates. So I sure hope it goes that way, because I got to tell you, we could destroy the Democrats forever, Tyler, because the entire New York and California, every conservative in those states would like to move. They'd like to sell their homes and move to where I live, Las Vegas or Texas or Florida, where you live, Texas, or South Carolina or Tennessee. Those are the big places everyone's moving. Well, there are millions of people stuck behind blue states. And the reason why is because interest rates are high and they've got like a 2% or 3% interest rate on their current home and they can't sell it and buy a new one at 6%. So if you could get the rates down, the whole world would move out of blue states and we'd have all the electoral votes and all the congressional seats. See how Wayne Root thinks ahead? See, I'm a Trump chess player. We got to get the interest rates down so people are willing to sell their house and buy a new one, and that would supercharge the American economy. All right, last question. The Iran deal. How big is this economically? I'm not, as a politician, I'm not thrilled with the Iran deal. It's the best one I guess Trump could get. It's not a horrible deal, but it's not a great deal. I would have liked to see him finish the job, but I realistically knew and said it out loud on my show that if Trump finished the deal, we might have been there with maybe even with troops on the ground for another year or something like that, or months, and the stock market would react badly and the economy would react badly and interest rates would stay high and gas would stay high and we'd lose the midterms. So Trump did the smart thing. All that matters now is winning the midterms. I'm not concerned with the Iranian people. That's not our problem. And so we need to win our midterms and lower our gas prices and lower inflation and make stocks and real estate fly. And I think that's what Trump just accomplished.
Yes, and I think you're exactly right there. And I'll stray from the political side a little bit and talk about the financial markets, because you're exactly right on interest rates. That if we can get rates lower, surprisingly, so much of the classical economic thought is that interest rates heading up will help to curb inflation and help inflation move lower. But when you have people staying in their home longer, not moving out, like you mentioned for blue states, it's actually been a contributing factor to inflation. So we need much lower rates to get the economy moving. And then from the Iranian side, like you said, it's going to be massive for the midterms, oil heading lower, inflation will be back into a 2% area soon, shortly followed by a disinflationary, far more than people expect. Ultimately, deflationary, because that is what the innovation revolution is going to provide here. Whether it's AI,
and you're the only guy saying this. And every time you're the only guy saying it, you always turn out to be right. I've been with your dad for 23 years. When he's the only guy saying it, he's always right. So I think you're right, and we're going to see deflation and much lower interest rates based on Kip's track record, and now Kip with you at the company's helm, Tyler. I got to think you guys are right, especially when the whole crowd goes one way, you go the other. It seems to me that's called contrarian, and you guys are the winners.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to be far away from New York City. For the noise here, it's very loud, it's distracting, so it's very helpful. And
they're screaming about the Knicks.
Right.
It's all they scream about. Knicks. Who cares? I don't even like basketball.
Yes.
All right, Tyler, we're on the way out.
It's the contrarian here. Yes.
We're on the way out. Everyone knows how I feel about you and your dad and about VRA. You guys are the best, and you just steer me in the right direction every time when my gut instincts on politics are the best in the world. But when it comes to stocks, they're sometimes You guys are always right. I need your help when it comes to the economy and stocks. So thank you for all you've done for steering me in the right direction. Appreciate it. Tyler Herridge, VRAinsider.com, 2 weeks free for everyone who's a Wayne Root fan. Just go to VRAinsider.com, automatically 2 weeks free. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Wayne. You're the best.
Safe travels from New York back to wonderful Texas.
Thank you.
All right, as I say goodbye for this segment, we'll still come back for another segment, by the way, but I want to mention the phone number, 1-800-347-ROOT. We're taking calls in the 6 p.m. East Coast hour, 6 p.m. East Coast, 3 p.m. West Coast. We take calls for the entire hour. Call us, 800-347-ROOT, and talk with War. Wayne Allyn Root. We'll be right back.
What would you say if we told you you could reverse most any ailment or symptom
without painful exercises in just 88 days? We have created the only patent-pending intercellular hydration protocol.
Don't miss your opportunity to feel better. We know there's a lot of false hope out there, and many people have bought programs that work for a moment, but life's a lot longer than a moment.
We have been helping people gain intercellular hydration for nearly 3 decades.
You will lose fat, not weight, fat. fast, including that killer visceral fat. Chronic dehydration is one of the root causes of many ailments and symptoms. Ask your doctor about Energized Health. Don't miss your opportunity to transform your health now.
So log on to energizedhealth.com. That's energizedhealth.com.
Possible side effects may include increased joy, energy, potential reduction in prescriptions, more fulfilling relationships, fewer doctor visits, and overall improved quality of health and life.
Hi, this is Wayne Allyn. If you're sick and tired of supporting woke companies, I have great news for you. You don't have to anymore. You can shop where my family shops at GreatPatriotStore.com. My team researched thousands of companies for my best-selling book, The Great Patriot Boycott Book, and one stood out above all, GreatPatriotStore.com. This is the answer to inflation. Hundreds of household products that you're already buying. Much higher quality, no toxic chemicals, delivered right to your door at incredible prices. 20,000 American families are joining every month, and you should too. And now they've got the beef, pasture raised with no hormones, antibiotics, or mRNA ever, exclusively available only to their members. Like Costco or Sam's Club, you need to become a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form, and they'll contact you right away. And boom, you're a member. For a limited time, the annual membership is $1. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com. That's GreatPatriotStore.com. Hey, Wayne Allyn, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. All right, Wayne Allyn, the root is on fire. Lost Soldier is the sponsor of this segment of the show, Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. The golden age of Trump prosperity is all about making America the energy capital of the world. Enter Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. Headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose company's created more than $15 billion in shareholder value. You can't beat that. At its peak, his company, Pinnacle Energy, grew about 100 to 1 for investors. Can you imagine you put in $1,000, you got back 100,000. Ultra Petroleum soared 1,000 to 1. A $10,000 investment turned into 13 million, meaning 1,000 would have been $1.3 million over 10 years. But so what? That's the deal. You hung on and you were patient. You made a fortune. Lost Soldier could be much bigger than Ultra Petroleum, Mark says, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years. It's a 40,000-acre territory in Wyoming that took 40 years to piece together. The first 4,000 feet drilled so far, estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas. Management forecasting projects the first 25 wells to produce 400 million cubic feet per day of natural gas, and by 2035, targeted production of over 1 billion cubic feet per day. This is all about the surge in AI data centers. It's placing soaring demand on energy resources, and this is how we power the AI future of America without bankrupting you with giant new electric rates. We do it with inexpensive, clean, natural gas. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, go to lostsoldier.com, fill out the contact form. That's lostsoldier.com. All right. I was talking to you when we started this show. I started with Obama, okay? Because he's in the news. It's the Obama Center's grand opening tonight, and this weekend's all the festivities. But I think the really big story is all the attacks that I think are probably terrorism. Certainly some of them are terrorism, if not all of them, that are going on in America today. And there's a lot of them. There's the cattle, the screwworm that's destroying the cattle. And then if they don't kill the cattle with the screwworm, because they say they're going to have to cull the herd and kill 8 million head of cattle, which is going to drive the price of beef to prices nobody can afford anymore to eat beef. And then when you realize there were scientists caught who were trying to develop ways to create ticks that would give people this, I think it's called gal disease, G-A-L, or alpha-gal disease. And alpha-gal, once you get bit, you never can eat meat again. You want to throw up every time you eat meat. So the rest of your life is with putrid, if I was a vegetarian, I'd kill myself. Putrid vegetarian food. Ugh, horrible, horrible. That's what they want to do to you. So first, the screwworm kills the cattle, and then if they can't kill off all the cattle, they just infect you so you never want to eat it again or cannot ever eat it again. And then there's new Bill Gates connected AI-designed COVID DNA vaccine raises fears. The developers of a universal coronavirus vaccine designed by AI are promoting it as a solution to future pandemics, but critics question whether a single vaccine can protect against an entire family of rapidly evolving viruses. They also warn the vaccine carries the risk of DNA contamination and likely other unknown risks. Of course, now that you know what happened with the COVID vaccine, who would be dumb enough to take a vaccine? Oh, that one was promised it would end COVID. It was safe. It was effective. It would keep you out of the hospital. You'd never die. All of those turned out to be massive lies. So now they're going to come back and they're going to tell you now we have a universal vaccine that works against all pandemics. And even as they, develop and get, what's the word I'm looking for? They get certain new structures and they move on variants. That's the word I was looking for. New variants. It'll work on all of that. That's like me saying to you, here's a new car and it's going to fly. Right? I mean, do you believe it? I got a bridge for you over the desert, but it's over the ocean in Las Vegas, right? Do you believe that? Why do you believe these con men? Why do you believe someone who wears a white smock that works for Big Pharma? Why do you believe a doctor when all of them prove to lie over COVID? They're lying to you about a universal vaccine. There is no universal vaccine. It doesn't work against everything. It may not work against anything, and it may kill you like the COVID vaccine. But that's not the only terrorist attack I'm talking about. It's not just the cattle. It's not just the ticks. It's not just the vaccines. What about fire erupted last Friday in Tracy, California? A fire literally burned down a 1 million square foot warehouse that holds all of America's medical supplies. I mean, they're the number one supply chain of medical devices and products needed in hospitals, burned to the ground all million feet. How does that happen? I mean, seriously, how about then days later, fire erupts, this is yesterday, at a massive food storage warehouse in Southern California, in Boyle Heights, LA, a critical node in the region's cold food supply chain. Preferred Freezer Services, located at Los Alamos Street in Los Angeles. First arriving units reported the fire was showing from the roof of the massive single-story building. And it's got all the, the cold food storage in the West Coast of the United States. It's an industrial area. I mean, it's just every minute something new that's important to the supply chain is on fire. How could that be? Don't you ever think there's something wrong? These aren't coincidences. And then, of course, if they can't do that, they're going to bankrupt you. Downtown Seattle lost 30,000 jobs and billions in office value since a 2020 payroll tax was instituted. Every time Democrats raise taxes, people run for their lives and get out of town, and it destroys the town, the economy, jobs, and the entire office market for landlords. Everybody wants to leave. So they installed a new tax in 2020, and everybody wanted to get out of here. They lost thousands of jobs and significant property value in the years since implementing the Jumpstart payroll tax. That's what they called it in 2020. Let's see. Since being implemented, downtown Seattle has lost 30,000 jobs. The office vacancy rate increased to 32% in the downtown core, and more than $10 billion in office value has been lost. So everybody is running for their lives. Let's see what other numbers. Bellevue is an area that is a suburb of Seattle. It doesn't have that tax, and it experienced a 7% increase in assessed value compared to a 48% decrease in Seattle office properties. Even though both cities have a sizable office vacancy rate, since 2020, Seattle's is 32%, Bellevue's is 24%. Well, of course, because no one wants to be in the suburbs of Seattle either. So Bellevue is more attractive than Seattle, but it's not as attractive as Los Angeles or Austin or Dallas or Houston or San Antonio or any city in Florida. More examples of how liberals kill themselves, literally commit suicide. California legislator seeks to let kids divorce their parents. Just when you think it's impossible to get screwier, they get screwier. In the left's ongoing crusade to separate vulnerable children from the influence of their parents, Democrats in the failed state of California are pushing a bill that would allow minor children to divorce their parents. This is about removing children from the protection of their families so they can be corrupted and exploited, and you can change their penis to a vagina. That's what it's about. Bill AB 1967 allows any minor residing in any residential facility to file a legal application against their parents without cause or evidence of harm. Residential facilities include, I guess, in addition to homes, drug rehabilitation programs, boarding schools, wilderness therapy programs, faith-based residential programs, and runaway shelters. You think that sounds bad? Here's the devil in the details. The child can petition the court to strip the parents of custodial activity and substitute county child welfare control or foster placement. When you think about history, right, you always feel so bad that children lost their parents, they died, they went to prison, and they entered the foster system where they got gang raped, where they got abused, where there was pedophilia, where they were treated like garbage and they just wanted the money, the people who ran the foster home. Now they want you to ask for foster care. Get rid of your parents and ask for foster parents. The application need not be corroborated by any adult, need not be served on the parents. The child's statement alone, these are minor children, is sufficient to trigger a mandatory assessment of the parent's home. And this assessment can occur without the child's knowledge. So you have a troubled teen that thinks their parents are terrible because they won't let the boy become a girl, or they won't let them use drugs, or they're mad that they skipped school. And the teen says, my parents are abusive, I want out. I want a foster parent. And they stick you in a foster home. And the real parents have no say in the matter. They didn't even know what was happening until the police showed up at their house and escorted their child out. This is what's going on in California. No one can live in California anymore. My God, I have 4 kids. You could never live in California anymore. You have no parental rights. They'll take your kids away in a second. In California, they would take my kids away. You know why? Because I'm a conservative MAGA. They'd say, oh, and I have guns. Oh, my God. You have no right to have your own children. What a joke. What do we have left? About a minute or so? Yeah, all right. So California to impose LGBT certification tests for $633 million in government contracts. So let me read this because I have not read this yet. I just downloaded it and was ready to read it to you. I haven't read it yet, but I'm assuming what this means is they have $633 million in state government contracts, and they'll only give them to you if you're like pro-LGBT, or maybe if you are LGBT. California regulators are encouraging utility companies to steer hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts to LGBT certified businesses. What do you mean certified? What does that mean? That means your company takes tests and goes to school to love gay people? The efforts are part of a state diversity program that bases procurement decisions on the sexual orientation or gender identity of business owners. Oh, my God. The California Public Utilities Commission has established procurement targets, meaning who you buy from, calling for major utilities to direct 1.5% of spending to businesses certified as LGBT owned. So it's worse than I thought. It's not like you brainwash your employees and they must be certified that they love gay people. It's that it's got to be a gay owned business or you can't get the money. So, if you really like money, I guess you're going to have to turn gay overnight. You're going to have to, if you're a guy, you got to like a guy's butt. Good luck. This stuff is nuts. This is just absolutely nuts. They already make sure all the money goes to blacks and Latinos and illegal aliens. Now it's going to go to gay and transgender. So California is pressuring public companies to award. So that must be that 1.5% must be $633 million in special contracts to LGBT-owned firms to qualify. Residents must go through the state's official gay certification program and face up to a year in jail if they aren't really gay. So they're worried that you might claim you're gay when you're not gay. I mean, this is so ridiculous, so silly, and so dangerous and so deadly to society. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And last but not least, I'll close the show with this because I'm hearing that we have about 3 minutes left. So I'll close the show with this. Newt Gingrich applauds Trump's Iran agreement. See, everyone's been attacking it from the left, from the right, from the libertarian, from here, from there. And I trust Newt Gingrich. He's a brilliant guy. Probably as smart as anyone who's ever been in politics. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich praised Donald Trump's agreement with Iran, saying the deal represents a major foreign policy achievement and a realistic alternative to either appeasing Tehran or committing U.S. troops to another large-scale Middle East conflict. See, there's one group that wanted us to finish the job, and I'll admit I was in that. It wasn't for troops on the ground, by the way. I was not for that. But I was for finishing it by bombing them to hell. And then there's another group that basically wants us to appease Iran. That's the whole left. Give them whatever they want and be nice to them and make believe they're going to be okay and good boys and girls and don't even watch over them. No trust but verify. But the real answer, he says, is right in the middle, and that's pretty good thinking. Gingrich said Trump has assembled a broad international coalition while using economic and military pressure to push Iran away from its previous position. He dismissed criticism of the agreement from both the left and the right, arguing that many opponents had attacked the deal before seeing its details. Negotiating with Iran, he says, monitoring its commitments, and occasionally having to pressure the dictatorship militarily or economically is simply reality. Remember Reagan's advice, trust but verify. There will be no end to the requirement to police, monitor, and occasionally penalize the religious dictatorship. The leaders of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps will try to push for as much influence as they can get away with. It's simply their nature. He defended Trump's agreement, arguing many critics have attacked the deal before seeing its details and have failed to offer a realistic alternative. A lot of people on the right and the left have criticized the upcoming agreement. It is hard to understand what they thought the alternative should be. Trump, he says, successfully navigated between what he described as the Obama-Biden approach towards Iran and the other approach was a costly military invasion while preventing Tehran from obtaining nuclear weapons. President Trump steered a course between Obama-Biden appeasement model and a strategy which required a huge ground troops model. He used our technological strengths in air power and intelligence capabilities to bludgeon the religious dictatorship into positions far distant from where they were under Obama and Biden. So there's the brightest guy I've ever heard in politics. What he says, Trump pulled off the art of the deal again. It doesn't make anyone happy on the right or the left, but it's kind of right down the middle. Patar, I got it. I see it. So Trump did the only thing he could possibly do, right down the middle, and he got us out of a war, and the economy is now going to fly. I think he did the right thing because the midterms are what matter now, not Iran and not the Iranian people, the American people, and America first. I think he did the right thing. All right, we're going to take phone calls from all of you in an hour at 1-800-347-ROOT. 1-800-347-ROOT in 1 hour at 6 o'clock East Coast, 3 o'clock West. We take calls for an hour, 1-800-347-ROOT. I hope you'll call in. You leave voicemails, by the way. You can call right now and leave voicemails, and I'll read them live on the air. And also, we read emails, so you can email me your opinions that you want to get across. WayneRoot@gmail.com. WayneRoot@gmail.com. Or live calls in an hour or voicemails right now at 800-347-ROOT, which is 800-347-7668. All right, call-in show starts 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. See you tomorrow, right back here. Bye-bye. All right, Wayne on the Root. Dan Montano is with me. He's the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, a biotech company developing medicines to treat Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. And now Zicha has a new breakthrough, exciting, to potentially reverse chronic pain. Dan, tell us about your breakthrough that could lessen or eliminate the pain for people suffering from neuropathy, back pain, or migraine headaches.
Very simple. As we've been dosing people for those other indications, they keep reporting to us the pain in their feet is gone. The pain in their back is gone. Their migraines have stopped. So as we started digging into it more over the last couple of months, we've discovered that nerve regeneration is something our molecule can treat. And we're starting to see people that we dose on Monday and Thursday, their back pain's gone. Their migraines have stopped. So we're now taking that to a medical research study here in Las Vegas.
Big one for me would be neuropathy, foot pain, because I have several friends who have lived wonderful lives, successful, they're CEOs, and they could barely walk anymore because of neuropathy. What have you done for that?
Well, the people we've dosed for their diabetes have reported after a week or two that they don't have the pain anymore. So we're going to run with that and find out how much of that is true and how much of that we can repeat.
Amazing. What are your next steps?
Well, we're going to be getting a clearance here in Las Vegas to do a medical research study. We'll be doing it primarily for back pain, neuropathy, and headaches, migraine headaches primarily. We'll have that approval probably in 30 to 60 days and start dosing people here in Vegas.
And you're looking for test patients and investors, correct?
Same as with the type 2 diabetes. As you know, Wayne, you guys generate a lot of subjects for us to test, and you also produce a lot of investors for us. So we're looking for the same. Chronic back pain is everywhere. People have got it. It's serious, and we've been able to alleviate it. I'm excited. This could be the biggest thing around.
Dan, why is your approach to treating pain different?
Well, first of all, we don't camouflage the pain. We treat the nerve that is sick. We heal the nerves. With this white paper, which is on the website, curewar.com, is phenomenal. Everybody should be downloading that and reading this, like a science fiction novel on how your nerves regenerate. That's how we do it. On the nerves.
Dan Montano is the CEO of Zicha Genesis Medicine, the website cure-war.com, looking for test subjects and investors, cure-war.com. Hey, Wayne Allyn Root, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks.